The oEmbed specification was created with the purpose of providing an easy way to embed into a website digital media or HTML snippets which are hosted on a different website. Using oEmbed, it's very easy to include into a web page images or videos which are hosted on public-facing sites like YouTube or Flickr for images or SlideShare, for example. The oEmbed component for the Adobe Experience Manager makes the inclusion and the embedding of those kind of resources very easy. In order to use the embed component, you just need to drag and drop it from the sidekick into any paragraph on a page. When you do that, the embed component is not configured, so it shows a message which says double-click to configure, and this is what we are going to do. When we do this, the configuration dialog only presents a single input field, which we should fill with the address of a web page which supports the oEmbed specification and specifically supports the oEmbed auto-discovery mechanism. An example of this is Flickr. So we can just go to a Flickr page which shows a single image and say we want to embed this image in our page. The only thing we have to do is we have to select and copy the address, the URL of the page, go back to our configuration dialog, paste the URL and click OK. And after a few seconds, the image is embedded in the page. Another example would be using YouTube video, for instance. So we're going to select oEmbed again, create another instance, double-click to configure, go to a YouTube video page, copy the URL, paste it in here, click OK, and the video is immediately embedded in the page. Another example would be a SlideShare presentation. So let's create another instance, double click, and we go to, for instance, this SlideShare page. Again, we copy the URL, we paste it in here, and after a brief wait, the presentation is ready to play on the page. As you can see, this is all very easy and convenient. In case the website which contains the original resource doesn't support the auto-discovery mechanism, it's possible to do a direct call to the oEmbed API. In this case, you need to know the so-called API endpoint for that specific site. Let's see how this can be done in practice. So we create another oEmbed component here, and instead of configuring the web page address using the auto-discovery tab, we switch to the link tab where we have this API endpoint field. Now the component comes pre-configured with a list of popular services and their API endpoints. We're going to use, for instance, Flickr again, which supports auto-discovery, but we will just pretend that it doesn't in order to do this demonstration. So we use the API endpoint. Again, we use the URL of the page, and this is all we need to do in order to embed this page. If the service you are using is not included in this drop-down list, you can always go to the oEmbed webpage, which is at oembed.com, which provides a list of implementation providers. And here you can find the API endpoint, and you can easily use it by copying it into the configuration dialog. If we don't use auto-discovery, we also have a bit more freedom in our configuration. We can request from the provider a resource which is at most of a given size, because we don't want to have too large an image or a video, for instance. So in this case, we are going to request an image which is no wider, let's say, than 640 pixels and no taller than 800 pixels. When we click on OK, Flickr will provide us with just the image that we asked for. So as you can see, it's all very easy. The code for the oEmbed component is available freely on GitHub. Thanks for your attention.